What is going on, everybody? It is Gis, and today is the day that I have been waiting for. We're going to go through the whole update today, but there is one specific line in here that is going to change the runecrafting skill forever, sort of. But we'll get to that when we get to that. The first thing that is up on the chopping block is birdhouses. So they're changing birdhouses so that they don't feel as mandatory to do as early on in an account. So I think the biggest thing for birdhouses is going to be that you get more nests and more consistent nests. Thank you, Peter. Yes, bird nests. Yeah, I did say bird. That's true. The XP, on the other hand, is going to be way down. So you're less incentivized to do these for XP and more so when you need these nests, I'm assuming, on Iron Man. But redwoods are unchanged. So if you're 90 plus, I guess you still do birdhouses and it's like fine. So I'll probably still do mine occasionally just because it's like you go collect 4,000 Hunter XP and move on with your life. It only takes a minute to do, so, you know. Falconry got updated, so this is just going to like feel so much smoother. Long story short is you're not going to have so many animation stalls when you're doing falconry, and this should genuinely be like a good training method now that doesn't feel super clunky and old. Aerial fishing is like sort of the same thing. You can just do it at a longer distance and a bigger area, so this should just feel better again, which is nice, just like smoothing out stuff, and then changing some rates on some angler outfit pieces and the fishing sack if you care about that, and you get more vulture pearls. So this is the deadfall trap update. Do not confuse this with pitfalls, as I always do, because I don't know, for some reason deadfall and pitfall are like the same thing in my brain, but this is where you set up the like stick and the rock, right? So you have a chance to preserve your log now, so you don't have to cut as many trees. But something like pyre foxes, you can now have 2 of those. So pyre foxes were super annoying because you could only do 1 trap at a time before, but now you can do 2, and you can preserve your log, and your trap will begin catching in half the time now, which is pretty damn good. But they lowered the XP granted by them because the trap increase, right? But you still get a huge XP an hour increase to do deadfalls, which, sure, if you want to do deadfalls, you like deadfalls, go for it. You can place 2 traps starting at level 1 Hunter, which is really nice. Killing a Chompy bird grants Hunter XP. Sorry to everybody that went for Chompy Pet and all your bird hats. Unlucky, you could have gotten a good chunk of Hunter XP doing that. Not anything crazy, but, you know. Ring of Pursuit buff, drop rate and pity rate of Butterfly and Moth Hunter rumors. Sure. So you have to catch less butterflies and moths to get to pity. That's fine, I guess. Okay, here we go. Everybody, listen up. Here we go. Guardians of the Rift changes. You can now purchase the Abyssal Needle for 750 Abyss Pearls. One massive W. If you're going dry for this thing, you can just go buy it now and have your Colossal Pouch. That's huge. But even better, this line right here. The Abyssal Lantern now also functions outside of Goater if it's burning logs that provide some effect beyond the activity. So if you do not know, the log that you have in your Abyssal Lantern from Goater, it's a 1 in 700 from the Rewards Guardian, or 1,500 Abyssal Pearls if you're going dry. The ones that we should look at, I think, you can have the amount of runes crafted increased by 5% at 30 fire making, which is pretty decent. You can double contribution points inside of Goater itself, increase your portal talismans, whatever. You can do 60, you can double your double, right? But here, I think, is where the important lines are, right here. Blisterwood Magic and Redwood. So if you're an Iron Man and you're struggling with blood runes, 20% blood runes increased outside of Goater now. So if you just want to go craft blood runes, you can get 20% more plus the outfit, right? So, oh my god. Plus the outfit, plus blood essence, plus scarred essence, right? You can make so many blood runes now. I know you already could before, but you just get 20% more now. And this is like maybe easier to access sometimes. If you just want to like do Goater early, get 62. You have to do, what is this? Sins of the Father. You'd have to get Sins of the Father done, but like, I don't know, that's pretty decent. The other one is just a general 10% increase on magic logs, but the most important one to me right here that is going to save so much time on the 99 grind, essence pouches will not degrade, and the effects of oak and willow are applied as well. So you get extra runes and double contribution points when you do redwood logs, but this is the key right here. Essence pouches will not degrade. And that saves us so much time at runecrafting because you have to go through probably like 9-ish ticks of casting NPC contact and going through the dialogue that pops up afterwards, it's 7 to 9 ticks. It's somewhere in there. And I haven't really counted it. I haven't bothered to count it, but it's fairly long. And you have to do it fairly often. And saving that time on the way to 99 is huge. So runecrafting should be way more comfy. And of course, we're going to go test that in game after we finish going through everything here. So Abyssal Lantern is added to the supply shop. This is just so you can avoid dialogue, I assume, because you had to go through a bunch of dialogue before you could buy this thing for 1,500 pearls. But now you can just open the shop and buy it for 1,500 pearls, I assume. We'll go check that out, though. The Guardian's Eye now unlocks a permanent metamorphosis on the Rift Guardian. Cool. I don't have that, so it doesn't matter. All right, Tempoross updates. What do we got? The fish barrel and tackle box can now be bought for spirit flakes from a spirit angler by the reward pool. This is also huge. If you're going dry for the fish barrel, you can just go grab that thing now. I don't know why you would grab the tackle box. It doesn't really do anything in my opinion, but the fish barrel is very good. I guess it saves like bank space or something, but then it just makes banking for fishing more annoying. So I don't know. I don't use mine personally, but the fish barrel, you want that. Fish barrel, good. Coral, I still haven't interacted with this, so if these are good in the comment section, let us know. If these are good, I have no idea, but seems good to me. The other thing that we are going to be checking live on stream today, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 to 8 p.m. EST, is the Venator bow apparently takes advantage of new engine capabilities, allowing it to find new targets more reliably. Difficult to put into words. If you notice anything feeling off or unusual, let us know, particularly in places where the Venator bow enjoys current usage, such as the Fortis Coliseum. So I'll be doing runecrafting and some Coliseum today, just so we can test everything out. And I think this is also really cool. So early game run energy improvements, also very good. Completing a quest now fully restores run energy and cures any dot effects like poison. Huge. Added 1 to 3 of those energy pots to a variety of early game loot tables is a fairly common rate. I don't know what this does really. I guess if you wanted to like stock up on these and some runes before you went on your questing grind on a new account, you like could do that. I don't know. Like sure, I guess, but it's like implying that you can like take a little detour and go kill like 10 goblins for an energy potion and then continue running around, you know? I don't know. I don't know what this does. Maybe it's good. I don't think it has much of an impact because you can just buy stamina pots instead, but you know, whatever. At least they're trying. They fixed giant squirrel drop rate from Worm Agility course, which by the way, clarify for me in the comments. A lot of people hated this update. I've gotten 750,000 agility XP from this agility course, and I have not been like actively clicking the course at all. So I don't know why everyone's pissed off about this. Working for me, man. I don't know. I'll take the million agility XP that I have that I wouldn't have had otherwise. Probably because you get less AFK time. I don't know. I think it's fine. Like, whatever. Anyway. Still have a handful to make that we didn't have time for this week. They are penciled in for release on September 2nd, 2 weeks from now. So if you're still waiting on a specific change, then you've not got long until we do it live. I don't know what's left for the sweep up changes. If you remember, let us know in the comments. I don't remember what's left. This was the big one that I was waiting for. Worms Crate changes. None of these are very impactful, I don't think. If you care about your jeweler's chisel speeding up bolt tip production, like sure. But yeah, they added map icons where you can fish on your boat. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing crazy. You can buy a Void Waker if you want to buy a Void Waker instead of going into the wilderness. You can buy a Bofa instead of doing CG. You can just buy it IRL as a keychain. And that is the update. So let us jump into the game and see how this feels. So I am already on the wrong spellbook, and what I wanted to immediately go do is check out ZMI and how comfy cozy it is going to be, because it's going to be comfy cozy. And I do have to show my teleports because I accidentally teleported out of Doom. Don't at me. All right, so let's set up the camera. Should be about there. So ZMI was the thing that I was most anticipating, because the only reason that this was annoying was you had to constantly go, you know, do the stupid dialogue with the Dark Mage every so often. So you couldn't really, like, you had to have such a cut out time to do that. So this was way harder to AFK. But now I think AFK. I don't mean AFK. I mean like low effort side monitor, like do one run every time you like die in whatever game that you're playing kind of thing. But it became more difficult to do that because you constantly had to repair your stupid rune pouch. But now we don't have to constantly repair the stupid rune pouch, so we can just constantly go back and forth. I'm so ecstatic. Oh yeah. So now, after I finish the agility grind, which, by the way... Oh, hold. There we go. So over here, 710k agility XP. I've gotten this basically since the Colossal Worm agility update, which is great. But I should probably clear this out so we can see how much XP we're getting from Runecrafting. So currently it's at 59.6k an hour. We'll see what we can get to in about 15 minutes. Look at all these redwood abyssal lanterns. Look at them all. Everyone's so happy. Myself included. And you're probably wondering why am I not on, or why do I not have Vile Vigor runes? And it's because the way I do Arania Altar is a little bit different than the way most people seem to do Arania Altar. I don't really understand the Vile Vigor thing when you could just use your Desert Amulet 4 and be a beast, you know what I mean? So I just use the Desert Amulet 4. I have a Narda Telly, so I can just use the Narda Shrine. It takes, I don't know, 4 ticks to go do that. And I don't have to worry about spellbook swapping. I don't have to worry about casting a Vile Vigor. I don't have to worry about taking different runes in my inventory. None of that. I just go to Narda, click the thing, go back to Arania. Very cool, very nice. Very, very good, very nice. I'm going to cut that. Maybe. So I'm pretty sure I already would have had to call What's-His-Nuts and lose ticks. But the fact that I don't have to do that anymore is so sick, dude. We're not even close to 15 minutes. We're 2 minutes in, but I'm going to show you the Narda tech. If you have the Elite Desert Amulet, I think the highest requirement on that is like the 95 fletching or whatever, because you have to make Dragon Darts in the Bedouin camp. But it's good. So now you just go to Narda. Jaboop. And you do that. Jabang. And then you do that. Jabang. And you keep going. And you don't have to worry about the spellbook swap animation stall. You don't have to worry about casting Vile Vigor. I don't know if Vile Vigor even has an animation. I don't think it does. But you don't have to click the pray at the altar thing. Like, it's just so much less clunky to do the Narda Amulet. So I personally just wouldn't even bother with ZMI until I had the Narda Amulet, because it does help that much, making it feel a lot less clunky, a little more smooth, in my opinion. And if you're doing this method like a second monitor and not really paying attention to it actively, then you probably don't even have to worry about Vile Vigor or the Narda Amulet, because you'll like AFK at some point and, you know, recharge your run or whatever, and it'll be totally fine. But we just hit the about 5-minute mark, so I'll come back to you in 10 minutes and see where we're at. I think the previous benchmark was about 65k an hour, if I'm not mistaken. So if we can beat 65k an hour, then we are chilling. We're approaching the 15 minutes, but if you do want to know how I have these things, this is the Object Marker plugin. So it's sort of like a tile marker, but it is called Object Markers, and I highly recommend you use them because it makes this method so much better. You don't have to like try and find what you want to click on. It's just highlighted in that yellow hole for you, which is really nice. So I think we have about 5 more minutes, and then we will check in on that XP rate. I know you're fiending for it. All right, the 15 minutes are about up, and it looks like we are flying in just north of 70k XP an hour, because obviously we lose some while we're running to the thing, but then when we get back to the thing, it boosts it up again, and, you know, there's a little bit of back and forth with the XP. Since we're not doing a full hour, we can't lock in the actual XP rate. But if you were curious, that's about what it is, a little bit north of 70k XP an hour. I don't know what it would actually lock in at for the full hour if you continue to do this as fast as you possibly can, but that is pretty solid. It's about 5k XP an hour more than it was. I usually got about 60 to 65k an hour when I was doing this before, when I had to constantly go, you know, talk to the stupid Dark Mage over and over again. So this is good. This is very, very solid. I am so happy that this is finally in the game, because there was no reason that we needed to talk to that Dark Mage over and over and over and over and over again. It was so archaic to me. It was very annoying. But now the skill is like super comfy. You don't really have to do all that much, and yeah, I am pleased with that update. So I think the draw from this is going to be do Goater basically until you have all of the little bits and bobs that you need from it, and then you can go do everything else. So you're going to want to go get your Raiments of the Eye, you're going to get the Colossal Pouch, you're going to want to get the Abyssal Lantern, so you're going to want to get, you're basically going to green log Guardians of the Rift before you actually want to do this skill, I think. But you're also going to want to do your fire making, because I believe the fire making level matters for the redwood logs to burn them. So that gives you an incentive to train your fire making, which is kind of nice to have an incentive to train that skill, because usually there's just no reason to. And lucky for you, you can do bonfires and AFK that on the side of your monitor or on your mobile phone or whatever you're doing to get to 90 fire making in no time. I think it genuinely took me like 4 days to get 99 fire making or something. It was really stupid. But yeah, make sure you go green log goater before you do any of this. I think the other things that I want to check that I'm going to be checking live on stream is going to be true blood crafting and maybe some abyss stuff. We'll see. I don't know. Oh, I wanted to check aethers as well, actually. I think aether runes would be an interesting check because that method just in and of itself is kind of clunky, and removing one level of clunk is kind of nice. So we'll see about that too. But I'm about to close in on 92 runecrafting, officially halfway there, and we're going to keep chipping away at this. We are almost maxed. It is almost time for me to never have to skill again in my entire life, except when I inevitably make a hardcore Iron Man or something like that. Anyway, guys, that is the update. I hope you got something pretty good for your accounts. If you're an Iron Man, the extra runes is nice. If you do have this, if you are just starting out Hunter, maybe the new falconry and aerial fishing is pretty good for you. So, you know, there's some good stuff in here. It's not like crazy by any means, but I think this line alone is enough to make me say 10 out of 10 update, because yeah, who wanted to NPC contact the stupid dark mage over and over again? Anyway, it's been Gis, guys. We're closing on 5K subs, so if you wouldn't mind hitting that button, I would really appreciate it. I do game update videos, we do guides, we do little fun series that I have ideas for. If I make a hardcore Iron Man, you're going to want to stick around for that. Anything and everything for old school RuneScape is what we do. Be sure to go check out the other videos on the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.